Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. We're here at Mountain Temple. Let's continue discussing Master YongHua's Chan instructions.
佛不是佛，释迦牟尼佛之外，还有千千万万恒河沙数，无量无边无边无量那么多的佛。
Not Buddha. Besides Shakyamuni Buddha, there are millions and millions of Buddhas, as numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges, limitless and boundless numbers of Buddhas.
佛不是一个，那么所以呀，因为它不是一个，那么成佛和佛在一起，这个大家都同等的权利，同等的智慧。
Buddha is not alone. Hence, since he is not alone, attaining Buddhahood means being together with Buddha. Everyone has equal power and equal wisdom.
天主就一个，你再修也不可以做天主，你修它干什么？
There is only one God. No matter how much you cultivate, you cannot become God. So why do you practice this?
Okay, stop. All right, we're coming to the end about the discussion of the God and the Buddha. So Master YongHua is reminding us that there are lots of Buddhas in the world. There are countless Buddhas in the world. It's due to the fact that if you look at the galaxies there, each galaxy was created by a Buddha to help his followers, to help the people that he owed to. So that's why you should see that Buddhism is practiced on a very wide scale throughout the universe. Okay, and we don't feel threatened by others, people who religions or practices who advocate this, advocate that. It doesn't matter to us. Okay, we want you to be exposed to the real deal and to be aware of the big picture, and that's the main thing. And know that we're not alone. We are part of this network of practitioners of Mahayana throughout the universe. So Buddhas are going everywhere to help us out. It doesn't say that now you're a disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, therefore he'll take care of you. It doesn't work like that. When we make offerings to Buddhas, this Buddha, that Buddha, we have behind us, so we have Medicine Master Buddha and then Emitofuo Buddha. We make offerings to them, meaning that we create affinities with them. Therefore, when it's appropriate, when our blessings have matured, they will come around and help us out. So you see, that's why you should know that we are part of a very powerful network of practitioners, and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching over us. Believe that, okay? I'm not important. Master YongHua is a very small piece of it, okay? We simply are acting on the behalf of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to help you, to convey to you this big picture, okay, that you forgot. Okay, so that's why we're doing this, not only for ourselves, but I'm very glad that we also are able to make it available to a lot more people. All right? And he says only one God. Master YongHua says one God, and no matter how good you are, how hard you work, you can never become a God. That's the teachings. So why would you sell yourself short? You think you're not worthy to become a God? And actually in Buddhism, gods are, deities are actually very low levels beings for us, okay? Because they have blessings, but they don't have wisdom. Okay, you need to have both. You need to have both blessings and wisdoms. All right? All right, I think we're moving on to the next topic. Continue, please.
OK，
That's it.
现在这个新的地方还没有正式接受，那么还有正式开发。
So at this moment, this place hasn't been officially handed over. They still have stuff at that location.
So I think he just bought a brand new place in Chinatown, San Francisco, and maybe he's in the closing process. So there's not quite, they haven't been able to take possession yet, officially take possession yet.
所以呢，暂时事情还没有一定。
Therefore, for the time being, things are not certain.
Probably because a layperson probably helped him get a loan for the place. So the mortgage is still being processed. Applications still being processed. Remember, he's pretty poor.
Ah, yes, today, Guo Yi said he wants to clean up thoroughly.
Yeah, it would be nice, isn't it? You have a new place, it's been not used for a long time, so lots of dust, lots of garbage, and so they have to go clean up. I think if it were in our case, I would assign a team made up of Koreans. They excel at cleaning. Have you been to Korea, Kaylan? It is so clean everywhere. Okay, so impressive. Continue.
咱们现在没有正式接收，他那个约会是非的，他还有东西没。
He wants to go to this place to work.
So you see, we are hearing again the stories, what's really happened during a Chanchi the Master Shinho organized, the early Chanchi he organized. It's they do things so you understand the process. If you can cultivate, you can cross your legs and go through the schedule, follow the schedule, then you should. But others who feel like they can't keep up with it, then they go and volunteer for the way place. So this guy here wants to go clean it up. So that's a very good way to do the Chanchi too. When you cross your legs, you're creating a lot of blessings for yourself. Okay, that's a part of the process. So that's why it's for everyone. If you're poor, you cannot afford money and you cannot afford things, you come to the temple, our temple, you practice Chanchi, you actually are creating a lot of blessings for yourself. Many, many blessings. And so that's one way. The other way is for you to, if you can't handle the sit, then help out, volunteer your time, as long as you're here. Actually, it's very useful to stick around as long as you can. For example, this is why we make it available for you, for our people to come and be here. And we take care of everything. And because during this time period you're here, actually it's extremely beneficial for you. Okay, for example, typically people come to the temple on let's say on the weekend. They sit here they hang around here for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and so forth. They come back to their regular life. So you see, there is the time where when you're able to still your mind and let go for your afflictions is very short. So it does a ton of good. Whenever you still your mind, you are promoting a lot of healing for yourself, both physically and mentally. Okay, and then the longer you stay, the more good things happen to you mentally and physically. So that's why if you come here and then you go back home, there is the effect is not as pronounced as it could be. This is why the process behind this is to help create an environment for you to do this. And people who have done it notice a big difference physically and mentally as well. Okay, you hang around here. Continue.
Sure. So now, without the official handoff completed, there is an adjustment period, or perhaps there are updates still pending.
Probably still the paperwork, I guess, with the purchase. It's a complex thing. It's so complicated. Yeah. And we're so lucky too. Now that we go through these processes, we have very competent people who are helping us. It's effortless for us. But I remember when I had to do it myself, go through it myself. It's a lot of headaches. You get bugged constantly, day and night, about they need this and need that, and the bank needs this and bank needs that, and it's nonstop. Okay, especially when we're doing the Weimang Temple here. Right? Not just there's no financing, but the paperwork is just nonstop, endless. All right, continue. That's it.
那么就是接受咱们暂时呢，就不到那边去打字啊，做什么不但现在在那里做。
Even after it is handed off, for the time being, we don't go over there to type or do anything at that location.
Why he talked about typing? What is this about? Anyone knows? 打字. I don't know what that means. Okay, so they're in a suspension period. Not much that can be done.
Right now, that place is doing construction work. Those doing office work cannot go there to do their work.
So that's what typing is. So no paperwork. So they have actually to do remodeling. They destroyed or fixed the bad walls and stuff.
When you're in the office typing or doing other office-related work, you can hear the construction noise loud and clear.
Yeah, lots of things going on. Very much like right now what we're doing. When we have anything every single night here, we have so many people who are involved in this. Okay? Translation, and preparing the slides and so forth in how many languages? 4 languages now. Okay, and equipment and manpower to to run this operation. It's a lot of work. And for that, I want to say this before I forget, that I'm so grateful to all of you, all of your help. I really appreciate it, okay? It's so kind of you to to sacrifice your family time and to come here every night and to help out every single day to make this happen. It's tremendous efforts. Thank you.
So now people go there to work, doing carpentry, cement work, and those doing construction work are over there.
Yeah, so they do remodeling. And Master YongHua, I remember, is pretty cheap. He doesn't do bathrooms. I'm crazy about bathrooms. Every time we have a new building, I usually add bathrooms. It's very American, you know. It's so important. The bathrooms are so important to us. Continue.
So typing and doing everything else, that happens here in this place.
So typing, back then they were still doing typing. Now we don't do anymore, right? We do word processing and printing, printer. Okay, so they have office work. Even at his small size, there's still a lot of office work that has to be done. Okay, I'm just amazed at how efficient we are and how sophisticated we are. Our operations are. All the equipment you have, then bring it together and then make it work night after night. Every single Dharma assembly is amazing. Yeah.
Now, moving over there, that is to the men's area.
And also not just the manpower, but also because of our style of cultivation, we need so much space. Look at Wei Mountain Temple. We have so much space here, and so that we can accommodate a lot of people and give you plenty of room, and your children and your family to come. Okay, that's important to us.
The men's area.
And you know, and in light of all the work you put into this, if you improve and you increase your samadhi power, open your wisdom and so forth, become enlightened, you know, we all have a share in your achievements, okay? And that comes first. And then you go home and you do your things and you make yourself available to society and the community and to help. That's fantastic. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. Okay, and so this is the vision of the patriarchs. I only copy it. I only imitate them. That's all, and that's important. It's amazing how much space we keep on consuming and getting more and more. As more people come, we need more and more space so that we make it a lot easier for you to cultivate and open your wisdom.
长期，我们现在在这还维持这个长期，我们这才建筑，我们这一方面，造房子，一方面
this Chanqi. We are currently maintaining this Chanqi here. On one hand, we are doing construction, and on the other hand, we are practicing diligently.
Yeah, it's still Chanqi, you see. Continue.
因为造房子就把这个用功停止。
We must not stop this diligent practice just because we are doing construction.
It's a natural thing. If you could sit, you will naturally sit because you like it and it's good for you. And if you feel like doing, you feel like helping out, well, of course, you're welcome to do that. So you can do both.
本来我说第9个长期，我随着打长期，现在我这个去打长期，我天天都要去看这个问题。
Originally, I said that for the 9th Chanqi, I would follow along with the Chanqi. Now, during this Chanqi, I have to go check on that place at any time.
See, I remember this vaguely. I remember that Master YongHua was very busy, so he was only planning to join them on the 9th Chanqi. So this is probably, they were planning to do about 14, and they trying to start the tradition of 100 days of Chan in the US. 100 days divided by 7, that's about 14, 15, okay? 15 Chanqi is 7. 1 week. And so he is very busy, so he could only plan to do the 9th to the 15th or whatever. That's all the time he could muster. But with this purchase of this property there, he had to drop it because he had to oversee the construction. Okay.
So all of you who are here at this Chanqi need to put in more effort.
You see, this is very traditional. This is like the standard for the Chanqi in a Chinese system. If you do a Chanqi, you want to go 100 days because 100 days is a magic number where according to the sutras, Shrangama Sutra, you sit for 100 days, you can, 90 days, 100 days, you can reach a first stage of hardship. Okay, and that's a big deal. This true sutra mentioned it. Yeah. So when I first started, I was just craving, I was willing to do anything just to reach first stage of hardship. Now I look at the audience, I see so many of you reach first stage, second stage, third, and so forth, and higher. So this is why we are a lot more advanced than they are. So that's why we can go our own style, okay? When I first started, I didn't know what to do, so I followed the Chinese style. But now that I decided to accord with conditions better. I feel that we don't need to do the 100 days anymore, especially in the cities. We're just too busy. You don't have time. You don't have enough vacation time and sick days to do it. And so it's probably more appropriate for the way places like up in the mountain, a little further away, where people can take months off and go and do it. Okay, 15 weeks, that's about 3 months. That's a long, long time. And so they still do it in Asia, but in the US here, even my peers, my YongHua disciples, I think they cut it short because people cannot keep up with it. We cut it short because I feel that our people do not need to grind 100 days because we're leaning more on the certain teaching Dharma. And they don't have it. That's why when you don't have a good new advisor, you need to grind it out, Chinese style, okay? So in the future, when you want to, or whether you do it on your own or you want to help others, you can do this as well. You can sit about 100 days with them, and you all will benefit from it. But for us, we're just too busy. That we just simply don't have time. The more people we have joining our ranks of the Sangha, the more we're reaching out, the more things we are making available. For example, videos on YouTube and so forth. It's so time-consuming, and it consumes a lot of resources. And we still can use more manpower to do more videos, don't we? So you see, it's endless. There's so many things that we like to do, and as more people come along, they just do more, that's all. I was telling my people, I was even thinking of doing Chan Handbook number 3. Okay, we have number 2 now. Number 3, to put my stamp on American Chan, what I feel, what makes it different, and will help establish Chan as the standard for meditation in terms of techniques, in terms of expectations, okay? You see, I wasn't planning on doing Chan Handbook number 3, but now I have more people, I know these people, and they want to help a lot more people, so I want to be clearer on the guidelines of Chan, see? So the more people we have, the more we reach out to make the Dharma available. All right, continue, please.
你要知道，没有一般人在那儿做工呢，也是很辛苦，不但腿痛，手也痛，胳膊也痛。你看看，我就是做一点点东西的。
You should know that there is a group of people working here, and it's also very hard for them. It's not just the leg pain. Their hands and necks also hurt.
Yeah, they're doing remodeling.
Ah, but they do this every day, day in and day out.
所以你在家里用功不好好用功，不好好参禅呢，那你对不起你们跟咱去做普通的。
So, for all of you practicing here, if you don't apply effort, don't practice Chan vigorously, you are letting down this group of workers.
Yeah.
所以你听，哪一个也不可以打乱打忙。
So now, none of you should indulge in false thinking.
Yeah, that's fine. And this is what you tell children. This way, you should work hard because a lot of people are working hard. Don't think that they're doing nothing. But I think I'm so blessed in a sense that those of you who are still here, who survive our tests, I don't feel compelled to say these things anymore. You're so mature, you're so enthusiastic, and you have so much wisdom that it's funny to compare who I'm teaching right now versus who he was teaching back then. Okay, so these things are sort of childish to me. Okay.
那用功的在这参禅打禅期的，就像打禅期的样子；咱们去做工的，就像做工的样子。
For those who are practicing diligently, you should investigate Chan. For those doing the Chan Chi, you should maintain the posture of a Chanqi practitioner. For those who are working, you should behave like someone who works.
Okay, and you see, the one thing I want to bring to your attention is that the Chinese stress the importance of diligently practicing, cultivating. You have to work hard. This is the spirit of Chan. Okay, and this is key. This is key to the Chan practice. If you were to do it by yourself in the future, and you said, I don't have enough of this Wei Mountain Temple and Master YongHua and stuff like that, I'm going to go on my own. You can do that too, but you have to be very diligent. Okay, you are also diligent in so many ways, and the one thing that's missing here in their Chanqi that we have, that you have, is someone who speaks Dharma to you and who looks at you and said, and drop hints for you on what to do. Okay, that is extremely, extremely useful. And that was the case when Master Shenhua was teaching, we were doing the Chanqi, but the students were not at your levels. That's why he's establishing the fundamentals of the Chanqi. It's about giving your all and practicing diligently, and it's not about talk. Okay. A lot of people come to our temple and say, I am pretty good already. I know Chan, I have some achievements already. So they come here. They happen to come with a non-believing mind. They said, I think I don't need to work diligently. That is so wrong. Okay? And the Chanqi spirit is about working hard and enduring the hardships, the next discomfort. Okay? And that's fundamental to that process of a Chanqi. And so if you have time, you have a chance, then you should try it yourself and see how long you can last, and see how difficult it is before you say, I'm above this. No one is above this, by the way. When I do Chanqi, I do this too. Just like you, I grind it out as well, because that process is so important, so good for your body, so good for your spiritual health, that it would be a shame not to take advantage of it. Okay, there's invisible beings here who are patrolling our premises day and night to make sure we protect it. Okay, and aid us in so many ways that to make it easier for us to be able to practice single-mindedly and not worry by anything. Okay, so don't be a loser. Don't come to our temple and say, I don't need to do this. I'm above you. I'm better than you. You're not. You're better than me. Then you should have been enlightened already, and you will not need to come here. Okay, and that's the attitude you should have. Okay, and also there are some people who come here and also they said, I will pick and choose this and that. I would not even do that. I would recommend that you try our Dharma first. This is one of the extremely advanced Dharmas, a lot more advanced than you're able to recognize. Okay, I learned this Dharma from Master Shenhua, and I've been doing it for over 10 years now. And applying it, practicing it myself, applying it and to help others, to train others. And it's only after I understood the process that I dared change it. Meaning after I saw many of you who are at the level where the actual process here is not as helpful to you as much as before, then I had to change it. Okay, so be careful, be humble. It's an incredible Dharma. This is why we should recognize it and do not confuse it with the Chinese style here. Okay, don't knock them because they're very, very good. They produce so many talents in the Chan world, in China, in Taiwan, and so forth, in Asia. And we are playing catch up. Okay? Be humble. Continue.
现在这个保田和国语保护，进到那边去住去。
Ah, now, this Guoqian, Guoyu, Guozhu have gone to live over there.
Yeah, a lot of work. So 3 people volunteered to go over there and work there full time.
就是他们，我相信绝对不是因为这儿起得早啊，到那边去起得晚一点。
I firmly believe they didn't go over there because here we get up early, whereas over there they get up a bit later.
决定不是这个意思。
So it is definitely not with that intention.
那么他们呢，在那边回来有2点钟就起身了，做工，我相信。
So over there, they say they get up at 2 o'clock to start working. I believe that.
所以你们各办其事，我呢，就是什么事也不办。
So each of you attends to your own tasks. As for me, I do nothing.
See, and this is how he talked to his people in China and in the U.S. as well. Okay, continue.
所以呢，有事必我不知道，你们是谁叫你们是我的徒弟呢？
So when there's work to be done, the disciples take care of it. Who asked you to be my disciples?
Very Chinese. And he keeps on laying guilt trips on his disciples. You know, you should get up earlier. These people actually get up earlier than you to work and so forth. They're working hard. You have to be more diligent, so forth. It's Chinese mindset, I guess. I don't think it's the case anymore. In our 21st century, you know, there's so much stress. There's so much work, and we know from our own workplaces that we have to be diligent, and so I don't think it's an issue here.
因为以前，我告诉你们，我修大屿山的时候，我那时候没有徒弟帮我。
I told you about the time I was doing construction work at Lantau Island. I had no disciples to help me.
So Lantau Island was near Hong Kong. Those of you who don't know, it's the outskirts of Hong Kong. And I went there myself for fun once and visited Master Sheng Yi's temple. Sheng Yi, Master Sheng Yi was a senior disciple of Master Xu Yun. So he's the same generation as my teacher. So I went there. So I learned a lot. And so he's telling people that when he was in Hong Kong, he had no disciples. It's because he kept on running around. Okay, he was never serious about accepting disciples. When he was in China, he was basically moving from temple to temple and trying to help the temples out. Okay, he was not intent upon building a sangha at all. Okay, so he's learning and helping out. But when he came over here, that's a totally different story. So he's telling us here on what he had to do, even though he had no disciples. And of course, the monks and nuns are very territorial. They're afraid that they're afraid to lose disciples, because disciples is very hard to come by. Okay, too many temples, and they have a lot of choices, and so this is how he got started. No disciples, and the question in my mind is, if he had no disciples, why bother building a temple? The temple is for who? This is my personal approach is different. I get the people first, and then I get the temple, and not the other way around. Okay, because a temple is a lot of hassle, a lot of headaches, especially for those who are poor, like me. Continue, please.
只有我自己叫其他的工人在那做。
I was alone, and I had to call other workers to come here to work.
And I'm not sure what happened. Maybe back then in China, you can simply get a piece of land and start building a temple, and the government would recognize it, something like that. I remember the old abbot in Korea. His master ran away from the government, so he went to a Vietnamese government, communist government, so he went as far as he could in an area where no one wanted it, because they're ghosts, they're possessed by ghosts, and plenty mosquitoes and beasts and animals, and they built a temple between him and it. So it's a similar story to Master YongHua here. So Master XC's master went to that place and tried to build a temple himself, and then Master XC joined him and built a temple with no support whatsoever. Okay, and Master XC, is it the case back then in Vietnam that you can just take over any piece of land and make it yours, or claim it to be yours, or what? So he built temples
Lúc
too.
đó là thầy con là đệ tử của Hòa Thượng Quảng Đức là Tự Tiêu đó. Thì lúc đó thầy con mới đang giảng kinh Pháp Hoa thì bị công an lại bắt. Lý do là họ nghĩ là thầy làm chính trị. Bắt đài ra quê hương ở trong rừng, mà ở một mình trong rừng. Thì có một công an địa phương nó canh chừng. Thì người ta mới lén tới, người ta chở thầy đi, mặc đồ thường đi, trốn đi. Thì trốn thời gian thì con biết trốn trên rừng thì con lên, con cũng giả đi kinh tế mới, con lên thì nói là thầy thuốc nam. Lúc đó ai muốn lấy bao nhiêu đất lấy, là mình đóng thuế, là mình khai khẩn, là mình đóng thuế, mình claim đất của mình thì đóng thuế thôi. Thì làm được khoảng 3 năm thì chính quyền lại nói là vấn đề quốc phòng họ lấy lại hết.
Okay.
Thì sau đó thì thầy cũng chạy chọt rồi trở về chùa cũ ở thành phố, rồi sau đó bệnh chết. Con theo được 1 năm ở trong rừng rồi đó. Mặc đồ thường ở trong rừng, mình giả đi kinh tế mới, đi trồng thuốc nam thôi. Rồi sau đó bị phát hiện thì người ta lấy hết, mấy trăm hectare lấy hết.
Emitofuo Master, my teacher was a direct disciple from Venerable Quang Ta, the self-burning monk. At that time, my master was explaining the Dharma Flower Sutra. Certainly, communist police come and detain him because they thought that he was going against with the communist regime, because of the political reason. So he was forced to go to an island, and then he was able to get help escape from that by change into a normal person and run into the wild forest, wild place. And so he I don't know. He pretended to become a herbal medicine doctor, and he planned the herbal. And at that time, I also going to a new economy place. So we were able to claim the land. And back then, there is a things that if you were able to just take the land and then pay with the property tax, you were able to become the owner of the property. So we did that for 3 years. Somehow we got caught, and the government saw that, and they claimed that because of the quốc phòng,
defense reasons.
Because of the defense reasons. So they take over the land. And then after that, after 3 years, my master went back to the old temple, and then he passed away.
I see. So it seems like we're not very efficient to try to fool the government, because they eventually catch up with you. It's a lot of hardship there. They really believe in doing these things. It's amazing. I just have so much respect for that. They really believe in fighting and helping as much as they can. I would have left the country like Master YongHua as well. Yes, sir, 3.
I don't know if this has too much to do with what we're talking about, but up until the 1970s, the country of Canada would allow you to homestead way up in, I think the area was called Moose Jaw, way up near the Arctic Circle, and all you had to do was maintain it and show improvement on it, and you could keep it. And it was, in some cases, up to 160 acres.
Wow, that's a lot of land. Is that still available?
I don't know, but I know a lot of
poor
that
people
land
like us, I can sacrifice 2 people.
It's a miserable place for a human to live. So I think the land is still there, but I don't think they use that program anymore.
Okay. Not here in the U.S., and we can't homestead anymore. Huh? Like the Wild West, we just go and ran as fast as you can and plant the flag. No, doesn't work like that anymore. Shucks. There's so many mountains that are unclaimed, so why can't we? How interesting. Okay, and so these it's remarkable that what many monks and nuns have to do to build temples. Continue, please.
I had to carry rice, flour, and oil in the evening. Every time I went up the mountain at 5 o'clock in the evening. Walked for 2 hours and reached the mountaintop by 7 o'clock, carrying 50 to 60 jin of things. I carried them on my back by myself. Whether I carry up 50 pounds of rice, oil, or salt on my back by myself, or I give it to them to deliver up on the mountain.
钟到山上，一早就3点钟就起身下山。
So, arriving at the mountain at 7 o'clock, I wake up at 3 a.m. to come back down the mountain.
It's kind of interesting. He was in his 30s, I guess. He's died at the age of 74. He's been here like 3 decades. So, he was pretty young, vigorous young monk, and he carried a lot of stuff up the mountain himself. Speaking, being tough. Yeah, that's remarkable. To haul things up there by himself, 5 to 7. This is the spirit of the monk of the prior generation that I really admire and respect. I would never do this. I'm too efficient. I would make money, stand in the street corner right here with a sign and then hire people to do it. It's a lot more efficient. But no, these monks are so tough that those generations, there's something else. Continue.
因为香港又要讲经，在香港又要讲经，这个又要给山上送吃的东西。
Because in Hong Kong, I also have to lecture on the sutras. In Hong Kong, I have to lecture on the sutras, and I also have to send food up the mountain.
And I went to Lantau Island. I met a Hong Kong monk who also was doing that. He was also lecturing on sutras. It's a highly regarded thing, if you will. He went around temples to lecture in sutras, and he called himself Mahayana monk. But at the time, because of the prevailing fashion, every time he would wear something like this. Okay, the typical monk's garb. This is Chinese monk garb, if you will. And then comes lecture time. He would remove this and put on Hinayana monk garbs. Okay, so he would take off the sash here, and then he would put on the sash of Hinayana style. You go, there's a piece of rope, and you go around it, and you turn around, and you twist it, and you hold it in your arm like this. And it's the cool fashion back then. So if you are really speaking Dharma, important Dharma, you're supposed to, at least in that time in Hong Kong, wear the Hinayana monk's garb. Really popular back then. At some point in time too, when I was at Master Shinwa's temples in Berkeley, the monk there was also doing ceremonies in Pali. Okay, and a lot of Pali monks, a lot of Theravadan monks frequented the temple, speaking nonsense. Okay, when they speak Dharma, it's just very shallow, very. You chew them up yourself because they're about lower level than you. So it's fashionable back then for the monks and nuns to lecture in sutras. Okay, and it's a big deal when they spoke sutras. I was there. He invited me to join his sutra lectures and would put on the Hinayana garb there, and he would go up there and walk up there pompously and sit down and spoke. Of course, I didn't understand Cantonese at all, but people were so respectful. Unlike you are so relaxed. Wrong attitude, but it's okay. Over there, it's like, the master is lecturing on sutras, and everyone's listening with so much respect. I didn't get anything. Okay, yeah. It's basically like a standard of after Master Shinhua. They just read sutras and made a few very shallow comments, side comments. That's it. So basically, they were reciting sutras together, and the master recited the sutras. Okay? It's nothing like explanation of the principles like we do here. And then, of course, the whole time I was there, I attended 3 or 4 his lectures, because I was there for a few days. No one asked any question in 3 lectures. And after a lecture, they all came up to me, and like 20 of them would give me the red envelopes. I was so happy. 20 red envelopes? So first chance I got, I went to the bathroom, I checked them. $1 or $2. It's so Hong Kong, They all want to give you a red envelope because they're supposed to, but usually $1 or $2. Yes, Nai.
Thank you, Master. Jane Clymer has a comment here. She says, Canada still allows homestead. In the case of rural homesteads, the homestead is generally limited to 320 acres or a half section subject to certain qualifications.
Very nice. And you need to be a citizen?
We'll see if she answers.
Can you just be a legal alien? How cool, huh? We don't have that in the US, right? I just want to confirm. Ideas, huh? It would be so cool for us to send groups of people to colonize the wilderness. Yes, sir. Some states at least, no?
Well, the land that they would allow you by homestead fiat to declare it used to be a permafrost area up in northern Canada. At least you had a frozen tundra under your feet during the winter. But now, because of global warming, a lot of that area, I think, has turned into swampland.
Yeah.
Because it's thawing out, and then you've got the terrible part of the summer where there's a lot of bugs, and it's crazy to try to live there.
Yeah, we can spare 2 people. Yes, Nine.
Master, I just looked it up. It says the federal government no longer offers free homesteading land, but cities and small towns around the country have adopted the basic idea of the Homestead Act to attract new residents and businesses, often to areas in need of economic revitalization.
Yeah, we poor, we fit in.
Yeah. We're broke, right?
We broke, yeah. And also, in Italy, this interests me too. In small towns in Italy, you can buy properties pretty cheap, and then spend time fixing them up. Yeah? So, boys and girls, hone up your remodeling skills, okay? I want an international presence in Europe. Yes, 7.
Master, I forgot if is the Hinayana style with the one sleeve robe with the arm showing, the Tibetan style of the robe?
No, Tibetan is kind of Tibetan. It's not. The Hinayana it's like this piece here, but they don't use the clasp and the ring like this. So it's like this, without this. So to put it together, they usually use safety pins, okay, and to tie them together somewhere so that they stay in place, and then they roll it up, okay, the bottom here, they roll it up some way like this, so it looks kind of cool, and then they hold it in the hand like this. It used to be so fashionable when I went to Lantau Island. Okay, if you are who's who as a lecturer, you don the Hinayana style. And then, can I reveal his secret too? I want you to know all these tricks so that you yourself can be a Dharma master one day yourself. So I stayed in his temple, okay, for a few days, and I was so impressed. He had like relics from Master Xu Yun, from the patriarchs, tooth relics and stuff like that, and they're certified by the Chinese museum, okay. Back then, they were able to get some illegally, of course. Okay, but so that tells you that the guy has so many blessings. For you to have a relic in your place, it's blessings, folks. Don't take it lightly. So the old monk, when he gives you relics for you to bring home, he's giving you a lot of blessings to your home, to your households, by the way. Okay? It's a very kind way, okay, of helping you out. But anyway, so he has, I think, 2 temples, okay? I have the one I stayed there is only 1 building, so there's a nun who helped him, so they put a container thing outside so that she can stay there, separate from his main building. So the main building has him, myself, and a guy, a layperson, who is considering becoming a novice himself. Okay, so he took me around, the novice guy, that guy, soon to be novice. I think he's a novice. He must have left home life by now. He's committed. He's like in his 50s, late 50s, or so forth, and so he has a nun to help cook and so forth and help do ceremonies. Okay, but himself, he goes around primarily to lecture. Okay, to various temples. Okay, and so I went along with that. I was very curious as to how Hong Kong people operate in there, the monks and nuns, and what they do, and. So he would lecture and put on this act of thing, and no question, no discussion, okay? It's just like for an hour, he spoke and read the thing and spoke and read the thing and spoke. That's about it, okay? No question, no interaction like right now, okay? No internet as well. And he got back, okay? So what does he do in between the lectures and the ceremonies, evening ceremonies and so forth? He would take sutras, okay, from somewhere, maybe from mainland China somewhere, okay, and then he bought a photocopier, so he would copy it, okay, and then he would repair these sutras in Chinese characters, of course, okay, and put his name on it. Yeah, you don't know how difficult it is for monks and nuns to make a name for themselves when you have no real skills. You hustle. Yeah, so he took someone else's sutras, whatever, somewhere, okay, some obscure thing, yes, from somewhere, and he would copy it and go and print his own. Same thing. And you can say, published by Master so-and-so and so. It's tough, guys. It's not like, like you who have skills, Chan skills and so forth. They don't have a whole lot to show. So you see, all that made a strong impression on me is that what I'm going to need to do to justify my existence, because I saw how hard it was for those people to earn a place in the Sangha. It's very, very tough. Okay? You have to hustle. Okay, and I ran across so many monks and nuns, and I saw how much they have to struggle. You know, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, and Vietnamese temples here, they're all struggling a lot. Unlike you here, you know, you come here and there's no pressure on you to try to. We're not trying to pick your pocket, at least that you're aware of. But it's the pressure, tremendous financial pressure on these monks and nuns. It's so tough. That's why, for example, Vietnamese temples have to sell food to make a living, to pay for the mortgage and their expenses. And you go to a Vietnamese temple, for example, the master allows you to become a monk and nun, but you're on your own. You have to pay for your rent, okay? Take care of rent, transportation, your clothing, your cars. It's all on you. Very much like in Korea. You know, it's tough, very, very tough to make ends meet as a monk and nun. And so think about it. Then basically, a third of your life as a monk and nun is worldly pursuits, making ends meet. Okay? And how do you switch mode from earning a living to cultivating purely? It's very, very tough. Okay? So that's why I was so grateful to Master Shino to show me the model and what it takes to do it, okay, to help the next generation, okay, and I hope that your generation will be able to continue to do this, okay. That's why I can't retire yet. I want to make sure you can do this without worrying about mortgages and stuff. It's tough, very tough, folks. And I truly believe what we're doing is so important to society that we're providing insights into how to better cope with life and live a more meaningful life. That's the third title. Handbook 3 title is A Meaningful Life. It's so important, okay? Okay? It's about you. It's about what we need to do to help people, because that's what I got the help from my teachers. That's why I'm trying to share with you what I gained, what I learned from them. Okay, continue, please.
当然可以叫旁人雇旁人送，但是要有用钱，因为我一个仙，我也要留着他来。
I can ask others to help with the delivery, but it requires money to hire someone.
来买这个材料呢，和预备炸定，所以这一个片子，我也不把它浪费。
Because I want to save every cent preparing to buy materials to build a place. So even though it's just a penny, I will not waste it.
You understand? This is his legacy. I'm very proud of it. That even though he's poor, he needed to do things. He needed to build a temple. He didn't open his mouth to ask for help, whether it's to carry things or even a penny. That's the legacy he left for us. I'm very proud of it. This is what he stands for. Okay? And this also is an insight into what you see about how he goes about teaching. It's not about climbing on conditions to make it easier for himself, because I'm sure that he has people who attended his lectures Okay, he could simply ask them, you know, I'm building a temple, would you like to help? They didn't even know. This is my guess. Because had he told them, had he dropped a hint, you know, oh, you know, I can't see you this afternoon because I have to climb up the mountain and go up the mountain. And they would ask, Master, why do you have to go up the mountain? And so forth, right? So no one knew. That's why he had no money. So he had to, whatever money that he collected from his donation boxes, he used them to buy these materials, and it's not enough, okay? It's still short, so he had to carry it themselves up there. There's no choice. It's not like we can stay here in the street corner and collect some money. The Americans are very generous, by the way. Those people who stand in street corners, they make good money. I'm told. Especially the one who pushes a baby around on the road. Oh, they are making big money. Okay, so you see how tough it was for him. But still, he was building temples, a way place, up in the mountain. And that's what it takes. It takes these people, these teachers, who would do it to set the standards for us. Okay? Because thanks to all his efforts, all his hard work, all these years, this is how I got to learn his stuff. So this is a very wonderful tradition I'm very proud of in trying to uphold it. Continue, please.
因为这个，所以我在香港2年半的期间，我做了3个地方是这2年半的期间。
Because of this, during the 2.5 years in Hong Kong, I built 3 way places. It took 2.5 years to build 3 way places.
I've never been to any of these three way places. Have anyone been to those places? I know in Hong Kong they're very tiny. They're not that big. Okay, they're in the mountains. Okay, and it's more or less for will not be able to do Chan Qi there at all. I seriously doubt it. But for him to build 3 way places in 2.5 years, that tells you that he has donations from his lecturers and his supporters, and yet he's very, very frugal. Okay, because money is tight. Comment from JMT.
Di Đà Phật, con có nghe đọc cái clip của Hòa Thượng kể là lúc Ngài qua Hồng Kông đó, không ai biết đến Ngài hết á. Mấy chùa địa phương đó người ta đuổi, người ta không cho Ngài ở. Ngài mới lên núi, cái hang Ngài ở. Thì cái hang đó có con rắn rất là to. Khi Ngài vô nó bỏ nó đi. Thì khi mà bữa sau nó về thì Ngài đi, thì nó nói ở một ngày, tôi ở một ngày. Thì cứ vậy mà ở, không ai biết đến Ngài hết á. Thì một bữa nọ thì có cái bà đó, bà bưng lên 10 mấy ký gạo với 70 đô Hồng Kông mới cúng. Hòa Thượng nói tôi đang chờ mà không ai cúng thì tôi chết, không xin. Thì tự nhiên cái ông Hậu Pháp ở không quá, đi xuống như kêu cái bà đó lên. Bà đó bị chó điên cắn 3 tháng không có hết. Thì Ngài Hậu Pháp bảo là bà lên đó, ông thầy đó ông chữa cho bà hết á. Bà bưng 10 mấy ký gạo với 70 đô Hồng Kông mới cúng. Từ từng lần người ta biết tiếng mà Thượng mới giúp. Nó tôi đang chờ chết mà ông Hậu Pháp ở không quá, đi kêu bà lên. Câu chuyện như vậy á.
Emitofuo, Master, I have listened to a clip that Master YongHua recounted his story when he was in Hong Kong. At that time, nobody knew about him. Even so, a lot of local temple chased him away. So he has to stay in the mountain, and in that mountain, in the cave. So in that cave, it has a snake So if he went in, the snake would go out, and when he went out, the snake would go back into the cave. And at that time, nobody knew about him. Till one day that there was an old lady carrying tens of kilos of rice and 70 Hong Kong dollar. So she went up and met with Master YongHua. She knew about him was because of this Dharma protector get to her dream and told her about Master YongHua. This lady got bitten by a crazy dog for 3 months, and the wound cannot heal. So then she was able to listen to the Dharma protector and carry the necessity and the money, go up and make offering to Master YongHua. And then Master YongHua at that time saying that, I'm just going to sit here and waiting for me to die. However, why is that the Dharma protector doesn't have anything to do, so they have to go tell this lady to come and make offering to me. And at that time, gradually, other people got to be able to know about him. That's all.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? So what he didn't say is that that Hong Kong lady who brought the rice and the Hong Kong dollars went up there, gave him the rice, and Master said, "Oh, now I can eat. Then I can heal your dog bite." He healed her right there. And that's why she came down and she told her friend. Her friend said, "You know what happened? Look at me, look at my leg now." And that's how people knew of him. You see, yeah. Never asked for help. He helped people instead. Okay, yeah. And you see, and when you hear about him having a hard time finding a suitable temple, it's not that they could not find, there weren't temples that were willing to look at him, to use him. But because of his strict diet, eating 1 meal a day, sleeping and so forth, it looks bad on the rest of the Sangha if you stand out like that. Okay. Plus, he's not trying to kiss up to the Buddhist disciples, because that's what you have to do. When you have no real skills, you have to please the disciples, make them feel welcome. And so that's why he struggled. He stuck to his gun and practice, and was prepared to starve to death by himself. And this is where you need to believe that you really have way virtue, and you're serious about cultivation at his level. I'm not saying that the typical monk and nun will be able to do that, but his level. The spirit I learned is that when you want to cultivate, the Dharma protectors must take care of you. Okay? You have nothing to worry about. Okay? It's their jobs. Very much like our jobs as monks and nuns is to do our work, okay? Do Dharma propagation and teach people and build temples and so forth. It's the Dharma protectors who will also have to help us as well. It's a lot of takes a lot of resources, a lot of help for make things like this happen. Okay, so when it's your time to do it, you have the skills, and then to stick to these value systems, what the lessons you learned tonight. You see that you don't have to compromise yourself. Okay. Continue.
这么多年，就现在有这么一点小小的。
However, having been in America for so many years, until now I have only achieved this small accomplishment.
为什么呢？2年半就有那么个成绩呢？
Why was there such accomplishments in 2.5 years then?
也就因为我苦干，我不怕一切的困难，我自己也倾全自己的努力去做去。
It's because I worked hard. I was not afraid of any difficulties. I personally did it by myself.
Okay. And so, Master Shenhua, this is one of the things I really appreciate. And very early on, when I was practicing, I listened to these tapes. I understood this part I understood. Most of the cassette tapes I couldn't understand. But I really appreciated these stories because he's such a beautiful example of what a monk is supposed to do. So part of the story I need to fill in for you. There's some practical aspects of it. When he moved from Hong Kong to the U.S., he sold a condo that one of his disciples gave him, and he got something like maybe $12,000. And he brought it to America. He brought it to San Francisco, Chinatown. He stayed there for 6 years, using that money to survive. Okay, so he got help, but this is what enabled him not to go begging for money or for anything at all. Okay. So all the years he was working in Asia and Hong Kong and China and so forth, he was able to have a little bit of money that enabled him to travel around and just meditated for 6 years. Rented a place somewhere in San Francisco, Chinatown, and meditated for 6 years. So you can imagine, for 6 years he meditated, and so his spiritual powers are incredible. Okay, and that's what is a kind of a nice model for you to do, to consider doing, is that you can before you start teaching, you could meditate for 6 years like that, and I will help you. Any of you would like to do that? Okay. Monks only, not lay people. Yeah, you guys, lay people, eat too much. But if you monks and nuns in the future, when you after you reach a certain level, and you want, I am hoping to be able to help you, support your going to seclusion like Master Shenhua like this, and then you come back and save us. Deal? It's part of the big plan. There's a lot going on, a lot that will happen if we get the chance. Yes, 7.
Emitofuo, Master. I was just reading the sutra in 42 sections, and I just wanted to reiterate, like that it says in there, Shravana should not work and all those kind of things. And I was just struck by how blessed the people who come here are to be able to cultivate in what would normally seem like such an absurd request, to not be able to work and not be able to cook and not be able to like all his basic necessities of life, but people really are able to come here and cultivate in that manner. And it's a real blessing, and I hope more people take advantage of it. Secondly, in there, it also speaks of the nomadic nature of the original cultivators. And also when I see these stories of Master Shenhua and others going from place to place and building way places, it's just so clear to me that they are following a standard of how to build blessings. Given that I'm a lay person, and it is a standard bearer that I'm looking at, how can I judge myself and adjust my actions so that I can meet their worthiness as best as I can?
what they did, Master YongHua and the patriarchs before he did, was they set this machinery in China where they were able to set up way places that are suitable for people to come and practice in their system. And the Chinese are very supportive of the Chanchis because they know that these people generate a lot of blessings through the Chan cultivation. And because they support them, therefore they get a share of the blessings generated. So the Chinese is very smart. They supported the cultivation. And this is what happens first. For all of you, the starting point is, unless you have blessings already, which is my case, I never supported people's cultivation. I cultivated cold turkey. But typically, you want to support others' cultivation. This is a Chinese wisdom, by the way. The value system is that when they hear of anywhere in China where they organize a Chanchi, and let alone a famous monk who's been doing year after year after year after year, that's virtually impossible. And the Chinese would send their support, rice, money, incense, you name it, okay, to support these way places. So the Chanchis are very, very big deals. And you get a lot of support. Similarly, the Vietnamese, they do the summer retreat. It's a similar model where they don't get a lot of support in the temples typically, but they would organize these summer retreats. Okay, they have big enough way places, enough room for them to bring in, a good number of monks and nuns. Okay, and they organize these things, and the Vietnamese know, and they consider it to be cultivation, serious cultivation. They would send rice. People would, send rice, bags of rice, and money, and incense, and all sorts of things. Okay. And that tradition is very important. We need to establish it in the U.S. If you don't have prior blessing like I do, I'm American, okay? I never believe in supporting temples. I gave a little bit of money when I was working, that's it, okay? Forget about it. I never thought much of Shakyamuni Buddha myself, let alone supporting his disciples, let's face it. And so I was able to encounter Master YongHua and practice on my own because of my personal blessings I had beforehand. I know that. I'm an anomaly, okay? But for typically, for the average American here, you need to start supporting Mahayana temples. You have to be judicious in your support, okay? I'm sorry. Not all temples are equal. You need to stick with the patriarchs' temples and Mahayana temples, okay? People who actually cultivate. And one thing is that, can they do a Chanchi? It's one of the most difficult things to do in Mahayana. You will not believe the kind of troubles we have inside and out every single year. Year after year, it gets harder and harder and harder. Actually, I'm praying to God that we're able to do it again next year. Every single year it's like that. I say, oh, thank you, Lord, for helping. I don't know what we're going to do next year. It's that difficult. So the American people need to step up and support the Mahayana temples if they want the country to benefit from it. I need those visionaries, the people who have visions, like the Chinese back then, okay, who saw the value of Mahayana and they supported the monks and nuns, and that included wealthy businessmen, elders, as well as emperors, officials, and so forth. Okay, those people are incredible, and that's what has happened in the U.S. You need to start. Don't think about too highly of yourself. You struggle so much in crossing your legs and so forth. Okay, then this is why in a giant tree we encourage you cross as much as often as long as you can, and then if you can't anymore, okay, try a little bit longer. Don't quit yet. And then if you can't anymore, then stand up and go and help. Support others' cultivation. Okay? And eventually, down the road, the Americans will wisen up and they will support the establishment of many more Mahayana temples. There's a difference. Buddhism has been in the U.S. since the 1960s in the form of Zen, okay, which is kindergarten, in my humble opinion, okay? And so it graduated to Hinayana, which is much better than Zen, okay? Zen is a farce, okay? Waste of time. Hinayana, at least they can produce people with wisdom. Okay, the Zen as they practice right now is a joke. And then you have to graduate. You have to graduate gradually. Okay, and eventually the people. Once after I'm done, I'm pretty sure that people will catch on. And it's very much like Master Hsuan-Hua's case. And now they have very good support over there. They have lots of support. That they can afford to waste millions of dollars doing stupid things. Okay, like building a Buddha hall. It's a farce. I would never do that. Okay, so in the future, in my disciples' generation and their disciples' generation, you have a lot more support. But it has to start right now. We need people to support Mahayana temples. We need visionaries to help us establish more way places for us to make it available and teach people locally. That has to happen. It will happen. The sooner the better. So for you, you need to try to take advantage of the program as much as you can. If you can't, then support the cultivators. Okay? So it should be a mixture of both. I'm an anomaly. I never supported anyone. I was an SOB. I never cared for anyone. It's like night and day. Nowadays, all I do is take care of you. Okay? I'd rather be in the mountain and, meditate. Well, I did, then who's going to train you? Because they're not training your generation. I can't ignore that. So I'm able to to cultivate because I have prior blessings, a lot of prior blessings, a lot more than you think. Okay, it takes a lot of blessings. Even them, you still need to plant blessings. You want to get further, up higher, you need to plant even more blessings than before. Okay? And that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now is plant blessings by helping you. All right. Does it help? I know Master Hsuan-Hua would wish that he were around so that we could ask him more questions. And you asked such excellent questions. Thank you, everyone. We stop here tonight.